Peace, everyone. I'm Qadi Tayyib, and this is a continuation from yesterday of explaining the difference between Islam and Eman, or being an assenter and a believer. I practice. And I explained yesterday, I stated that most of these traditional Muslims that everyone says or think that they are Muslims, that they're really following the Quran, but they're not following the Quran. And I could verify that. So this you can have the tool to face them and let them know that they're not following the Quran, period. All they're following is an old, made up, tailored religion that forms to the Arab mentality of 1400 years ago. So, and they exported that and they packaged that and they exported to the world as if this was Islam, this is what Prophet and God wanted. And it's not. I tell you, it's not. Because it's God, Islam and the Quran are more simple than you ever think. It's more common, and I mean, everybody's practicing it. Everybody virtually out there is a Muslim according to the Quran, and everybody out there who practices the rituals are believers, such as what they call Christians or Jews or the believers that followed Muhammad. That the name was hijacked to become Muslims, but the word Muslims actually belong to everyone universally, but they hijacked it for themselves and they copyrighted it for themselves. So everybody thought that they're Muslims, but they're now Muslims. It's a whole different term. Muslims is being practicing three things: believing in God, Judgment Day, and doing good deeds. According to the Quran, you do these three things, you are called a Muslim, which is 99.9% people on earth are Muslims. Now, that means you don't follow a book, you don't follow a prophet, you don't do any rituals, you just believe in God, doing good deeds, and believe in hereafter, judgment day. That's as simple as that. That's 99.999 whatever percent of the people on earth. Now, if you want to rise up in the ranks to be the next level, you practice the rituals. You have to believe in the prophet. I mean, who's going to give you the rituals? You have to believe in the prophet, in the book, and to confirm that you are a Muslim and you practice the rituals. Then you become Jewish, Christian, or a follower, a believer. Simply just call him believer, a believer of Muhammad. And like I said, the name has been imposed that these are the Muslims and everybody else are so-called infidels and they don't belong on this earth and they're going to hell and just them, these people are going to heaven. And if that's the case, then it's just doesn't stick to any logical thinking. So now I want to clarify this, and I want to make one more note that if you, let's say, if you are a Muslim and you want to become a believer, that means you're a follower of a ritual, which makes you a Christian, Jewish, or believer. You have to follow the rituals that you do. If you don't practice the rituals, then you're not that higher upper. That's why most of the people on earth, or back then, if you practice the rituals, you're somewhat of a higher rank because you are putting in the work. And that's how the religious people got their respect from the people. And that's why they have their hands over their necks and over their lives and telling them what to do because of that mental programming that if you pray and you fast and you do alms and you pilgrimage, that you are a much better person. But what people don't realize that these rituals are not for the people. It's for them. I mean, you do the rituals just for yourself, but these people do threw two stones at once. Oh, I'm praying, I'm this, then I'm praying, I'm doing the fasting, I'm doing the paying alms, then I can tell you what's right and what's wrong. I'll tell you the way, the path to heaven or to hell. I'll do this. And that's how they brainwashed everybody. And from through there, to the brainwashing that took centuries, that's how religious people got a hold of the public. Even though these rituals are not sanctioned or authorized by God, that they are better than everybody else. No, these rituals are to make them better. I mean, everybody could practice the rituals, and everybody does practice rituals every once in a while, but these people do it too much and constantly that people take notice of them. And when you take notice of them, there you go. You set them on a higher pedestal. And even though this has nothing to do in real life, has nothing to do with being honest or being justified. Because there's a lot of people who do not practice rituals, but they are more honest than the religious people. There are, and more wiser and more intellectual and more educated, because religious people, they focus on so much on the prayers and the rituals that they know nothing else in this world. They know nothing else. They know nothing else. So it's just like a profession. You just know that one thing. So they cannot be a doctor, they cannot be an engineer, they cannot tell you how to go to heaven, they cannot, because you have to have experience in life in order for you to finish the road and go to heaven successfully. You have to interact with people. You just can't go to heaven just because you pray. No, you have to be put to the test in life. You have to go through the positive, the negatives, the ups and downs. You have to suffer. You get excitement. You have to go through all of that in order for you to activate your feelings and expand all your capabilities to see how far you're gonna go and what is the outcomes like. So religious people are just basically, to me, retards that think they know everything. They're like the jack of all trades, master of none. They don't master anything. All they know is just how to pray 5 times, 3 times, fast, give up alms, which everybody does, and pilgrimage. Most people do. I mean, pilgrimage is a long way. So this is basically, uh, we should throw them off this pedestal. They're just like everybody. Matter of fact, they're even worse than everybody else because they practice nothing in life. They don't engage in life except for just talking and prayers, which is not going to do good because everybody, once they get in trouble, believe me, they pray to God more than the religious person does, because the religious person does not go through, who's isolated in life, just pray from the mosque or from the church or from the Knesset to the home, and from home to they don't experience life. They don't go through the ups and downs and positive and negatives. They don't go through that, so they don't know what it's like to ask for help. But everyday people who go through life, they experience that. They being lonely, being a tough spot, be in trouble, and being with friends, and sometimes most of the time being without friends. And that's when they turn their hands up to God. No matter what your background, you always ask for the one for help. And that's just my take on that. So I'm just going to explain here simply. Let me get my pen ready. And what they do here is that I'm going to explain that this now this is Islam. So they always say that Islam is uh, the main category, and then faith is within Islam. Actually, it is true, but it is separated. They're two separate levels, two separate things. They mean two separate things. So because we have Islam right here, which is, uh, religion is anchor of humanity by accumulation. It comes around, these things, believing in God uh, unconditionally. That's the number one rule. and faith in the hereafter and doing good deeds. Everybody's been doing this ever since Adam and Eve or whatever. They've been doing that. Prophet or no prophet, book or no book, everybody. This is a community. Everybody believes in that. The whole world believes in this, regardless of their tradition and culture and mentality. So, and this is more common. Everybody could agree on this. That's why everybody assents to God. That's where hence the word Muslims come from, because you believe unconditionally. In English, you call assent. You assent to God. You're an assenter. You're a Muslim. The problem with this is that because the Arabs of that time, they took that name instead of giving it its right to everybody, they took it for themselves and say, "Oh, we're Muslims." No, you're not Muslim. You're just like everybody else because you practice religion, rituals. You're a believer, but everybody's a Muslim because Muslims don't have, according to the book, all they have is these three pillars because pillars don't change. If you have a building, it has pillars and it has uh, building material in the middle. If you want to change the building, you're never going to change the pillars. Pillars don't change, but you change the material from adobe to sheetrock to glass. That's what the rituals are. It's like that. You could change what's between the pillars, but you can never change the pillars. So these three pillars are faith in Allah, God, faith in the hereafter, and doing good deed. But the practice in the rituals, they are not like Islam because they're interchangeable. They're changed. See, you don't have in Islam. You don't have. Let me just say, I'm not gonna have faith in God today, or for the next month or so, so I could do whatever I want, or I'm not gonna believe in hereafter. I'm not gonna do good. There's no excuse for that. Even bad guys, criminals, gangsters, mafia, whatever. You see them still, but still they give out to the community. I mean, how many people that you know that gangsters that they do bad things, but they still believe in doing good deeds, even though the source of their money is not good, it's not clean, but they're still doing it. It's a common belief. It's in every one of us. So these are the pillars of humanity. Pillars of Islam is pillars of humanity. Now, if you want to upgrade yourself and go higher a little bit, and you want to you have the time, the income, or to have uh, do these rituals, and you want to devote yourself more into this, so you have to do the faith in, you have to believe in a prophet that you follow like a teacher, and a book that gives you the guidance, and then you practice the rituals, which is it's a little like you say in English, like say meditation is for yourself. It's not for everybody else. So these three things are the pillars of faith. Now, everybody sooner or later, I mean, even the messenger, he's not really gonna come with something new. He's just gonna revive the old. And so he comes with something new that, according to the times, needs new lessons. Let's say in the times of Noah, when the messengers came, there wasn't uh, uh, cheating in the scale, let's say, or cheating on products, or there wasn't uh, homosexuality, or let's say adultery, or there wasn't these big subjects. So when Noah come, his message was being good to your parents and good to neighbors. And when the prophet, let's say Hud and Saleh came, it was about sharing and giving and being humble to people. And then when Lot came, it was about not, male to male and female to female, all that. And then when Shu'aib came, it was about scales and buying and purchasing, not cheating. And so every prophet, and Moses came the same thing. So every messenger that came, he came with a little increments of what's new, but the message, the basic message of prophethood is still the same. But every messenger came with a new message added on because people could understand that message because it was needed because society came before religion. There was society first, and then there's religion. Religion didn't come and then society. No, society came, and the religion came messenger in the form of a messenger to tell the people, okay, you got this right, keep it, tweak it a little bit, and you got this wrong. So that's how you have prohibited and not prohibited, or halal, or kosher, or allowed. And so the messengers come to tweak and correct what society has already established. And some people need guidance, some people don't need guidance, some people need the rituals, some people don't. And it's something that unites them. It unites them together. So that's why you have the rituals. But people, because they came at separate times, they started identifying, okay, this is uh, Jewish, and then this is Christian, and this has become a believer. And over time, it flipped, it reversed. Now, to get into the religion, now it's a separate religion because now religion is identified by the rituals, not by being human, not by being human. As in, okay, we're Muslims, everybody's the same, but you do rituals different than this person does, or this group, and this group does rituals different than this group. No, it became the ritual is the doorway. It became the doorway of that privatized religion. So Judaism, uh, it became a religion, even though it's not a religion. It's part of a universal religion. So you have Islam, or sent worldwide, and then Moses was sent to those people and taught them the rituals to be better. And over time, it became just for them. So they became a religion. And then the people, the Jews who denied Jesus, and they helped them, and they believed in him. They formed. They took the same thing. They believed in, so they became a separate. Even though it's the same message, it's the same God. The messengers are all the same with the same message, and then Muhammad came with the same thing. But all these groups privatize these religion. So now, if you want to go into the religion, oh, you're an infidel because you don't believe in us. And then this group says, oh, you're an infidel because the Jews don't believe in us. The Jews condemn the Christians, and the Muslims condemn the Jews and the Christians, and Christians condemn the Jews and the Muslims, and so on and so on. It's a war, and it's all one religion. And frankly, the only people that are not bothered by it are the ones who does not practice the ritual. They're comfortable because they don't have to follow a book, a messenger, or do the rituals. They just believe in God, doing good deeds, and believe in the hereafter. They're comfortable. They don't have to go through the headache. And you know, but I'm here to clarify that these are the tools to explain that the Muslims, or all these religions, they're overdoing it. They're really, really overdoing it and overstepping it. So I'm just going to explain here. This is Islam. Okay, it's simple. 3 conditions: believing in God, doing good deeds, and Judgment Day. Now, when we come, now if you want to go to a higher level, you do the rituals, which which is the belief. That's the second part. You believe in the prophet, and you believe in the messenger, and the book, the message, and then you do the rituals. Now, the rituals, see right here, as you see, we have the messenger right here, and you have and, the faith in the messenger, and the faith in the book, because this messenger is verified, and therefore the book is verified. And then the ritual practice are verified, because you have to do you have to have proof. Not anybody that comes up to you and say, I'm a messenger, or I'm a prophet, you just believe in him. You got to have some kind of proof. So every messenger came down with proof, with what we so call a miracle, which is like Moses came down with miracles, Jesus, Muhammad, Noah, Saleh, Hud, everybody came down with the proof, because we're humans. So, and they came with proof. So to do these rituals, you had to do the 5 daily prayers. Let me just take that out. Now you do the 5 daily prayers, and right here, and you do the fasting, and you do the alms, and you do the pilgrimage. We notice most of these groups, all these groups, they do that, but they do it in a different way. The Jews do it different, and the Christians do it different, and the believers do it different. Now, faith stops here. It stops right there. That's all there is to it. Now, let's see what is obligated by the Muslims, which is 99%. I mean, how many groups if that practice these rituals? How many are there? Is it three major groups? But how many people actually practice do the rituals in comparison to people who don't? One more note. These See, all these, what makes you a believer is this: pilgrimage, alms, fasting, believer. Now, the pilgrimage, if you cannot afford to do it, or you're not healthy enough to do it, you don't have to do it. You're good. If you're poor and you don't have the money to give out, you're exempt. It's not a problem. Fasting, if you're not healthy, then you don't have to fast. You're exempt from it. Now, and that's for us, that's in the Quran. The Quran always give you have to do these, but if you can't afford to do the pilgrimage, no problem, alms, no problem, except for the daily prayers. Now, this is the proof, the practicing proof, right here. The daily proof is the practicing proof that you are on the higher level of a Muslim, because you're doing the same thing as a Muslim does, except where you're doing more work, more devotion, more obligations. So therefore, with the daily prayer, this is the proof, because you're doing it daily. The fasting, you're doing it once a month, once a year, month a year. Alms, you're doing it whenever you can or once a year. And pilgrimage, you do it once in a lifetime. But what's the everyday proof, which is the daily prayer? So now, the daily prayer, you do it. There's always, it give you times to pray, but then if you can, you have to make it up. But there's no excuse that you cannot do it, because normally, if you stop doing the daily prayer, you go back down to being a Muslim. You're off the high pedestal. See, this is Islam, and then you do the rituals, you practice them year after year, yearly. But then these other three, you do it every once in a while when you can. But the daily prayer, if you stop doing it, you quit doing it, you go back down to being public. It's just like being a soldier. You get a raise, promotion, you're up, you're being captain or whatever it is, but you have more duties. You do the same thing as a soldier, but you have more duties that the soldier don't do. So, but if you become lazy and you don't you don't do your job diligently, they'll demote you. So this is the same idea. Students, they go to school. Everybody go to school. Everybody reads and write and learn, and everybody's given homework. Some people don't do homework. Some people don't do homework. Those who do homework, they succeed. They're on a higher level. Teacher view them on a higher level. And if you don't do the homework, you're just a regular student. That's how you have that levels. So this is the same thing, but this is not it's not really that big, because now if we look what the Muslims do, which is 99% of the people on earth. Now this is what they do right here. This is all in Arabic, but look, compare what the believers do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Compared to this, what the Muslims do. Who has more work? So just because you do the pilgrimage and you pray and you pay alms doesn't make you holier than thou. No. This is in Arabic, but I'm gonna read off a couple of them. I mean, all of it. I haven't had a chance to translate it. Okay, be nice to parents. Do not kill your children. Do not commit adultery or any type of sexual crime. Do not kill yourself. Be nice to orphanage. and take care of their money. Uh, uh, weights and measurements. That's why in the West over here we are very careful with the weights and measurements. How much does it weigh? How much does it sell for? And make sure the prices and the weights are the same. Uh, do not uh, don't uh, make fun of people's stuff or products. If you don't like it, just leave it alone. Be faithful and uh, with your promises, with your obligations. Have sex only through legal channels. Marriage. Be honest with people's money and people's words and people's secrets. Uh, don't go out of your way getting drunk and causing crimes. Uh, do not worship the idols other than do not worship any other human or idols. uh give people inheritance, give everybody the inheritance right. Do not adopt people. uh Wear clothes modestly. uh, be nice to the travelers. uh, be nice to your workers. uh, this all these. Be justice. When you if you jail somebody, if you accuse somebody, uh, knock on the door when you enter somebody's house. Uh, yeah, all these I'm talking about. This is a lot, and don't call people bad names. Uh, yeah, there's so much. So you can see from here. I haven't translated all these, but I will do it one day. So you can see that Muslims have more work. They do more work, and they don't even need a book or a messenger. All these stuffs come. All humanity agree. All humans agree on these stuff, but not everybody agrees that on how to do the rituals. No, the Jews say no. We do it the right way. We're the chosen one. Everybody is going to hell. Christians, same thing. God's Son sacrificed Himself, so we are forgiven. So if you just believe, you're going to heaven, and everybody else is going to hell. And then the Muslims say, no, heaven is just for us. We have the Quran, the last book. Everybody's been corrupted. We're going to heaven. Everybody else is going to hell. No, it's not what you say. These little groups are not going to dictate what everybody else thinks. I mean, just look at it. Four doing four rituals is going to outweigh what humanity always agreed on already. No. So when I say talk about just traditional Muslims, I mean I'm talking about anyone traditional. It could be Jewish or it could be Christian. It could be anything. They're all the same boat. They're all in the same boat. So, and the reason why these rituals were taught hands on is because there's some things you cannot teach by reading and writing. So it has to come by teaching, by hands on. Just like doing carpentry, reading, riding a car, learning how to swim. You just can't give somebody a book. Plus, those days, a lot of people can't read and write, so somebody had to show them how to do it. And the the prophet, the messenger, was receiving this. So that's why a lot of people that I want to point out, make sure that a lot of people think they made up this new religion called the Sunnah. They say that the Sunnah is the prophet, whatever. No, a lot of people don't understand that these right here, this right here, this the rituals, the practicing the rituals, and all this right here, and the book, all this stuff right here, especially this part right here, the rituals. They say that the prophet brought it down. He taught us, so therefore it's so in a sort of way they separated it from the religion, but they don't understand these rituals are just the practicing part, the homework, the daily work of the Quran. of the book. So you have the book that's memorized. So the Quran is basically the book is divided into two main parts, which is the reading part, the memorization, and then the practicing part, because these were taught by hand, even though they're mentioned in the Quran, but they're not mentioned by detail. So you cannot have all that details written in the Quran. So it's easier to teach him. So angel, whatever, sent down to Muhammad, Prophet, peace be upon him, to teach him how to do these rituals, and he taught it to the people. So it's the daily homework of the book of the Quran. So these other rituals that the Jews do or the Christians do, it's not separate. It's part of the book. It's the homework that you practice every day and do every day with the book. So that's the written part. That's where you study and that's where you practice. So it's all one. So you don't say that Jesus taught us how to pray or Moses taught us to pray or Muhammad taught us how to pray. No, it's part of his message. It's a message. He gives it to you and he lived. He died just like all other, just like Jesus and Moses, everybody died. But the message of God is that we do this and we carry on the message. But we don't turn the prophets into gods. We don't turn the prophets into that's his religion. We have to follow him. And they started, and especially for the Muslims, the traditional Muslims, they said now it's the Quran and the Sunnah. They made up the Sunnah because they never understood this part. They said, oh, because the Prophet taught us, now it's the Sunnah. And they don't understand what they got the Sunnah from is that the Prophet delivered the message. And him as a prophet, he's the first one to practice this message. So he's obligated by it just like everybody else. So God said the prophet is a good exemplary, a good example of how to practice. So he's not, so God is saying that he's a good example to show you how to bring out the best in you. But what they did is that they set the prophet as the standard. So you must do exactly like him, even though your capability is completely different. Not everybody has the same capabilities, same mentality, same thinking, same patience, same courage. Not everybody, but we could do according to what we can. So he's a good. But what these traditional Muslims did, they made the Prophet Muhammad the standard, just like the Christians made Jesus the Son of God, and they said, and then the rulers of the earth, the emperors, the Caesars, who ruler, and they are ruling in the name of Jesus. And so the Muslims, they took that from Christianity. So now, because they couldn't worship Jesus himself, they worship Muhammad in a different way by making him separate from the Quran, that this is his. So that's what they got the Sunnah from. And mind you, in the Quran, there is no such thing as a Sunnah of the messenger or Sunnah of the people or a Sunnah of the messenger or Sunnah of a person. There is none. None at all. And the Sunnah means God's way on earth. Sunnah in English, in simple terms, Sunnah means God's way on earth. This is how the earth is run. This is God's Sunnah. But God mentioned that the prophet or anybody else has iswa, exemplary. So the people have an exemplary. They don't have a Sunnah. And this is how, but they miss, because they didn't have a religion like this before. So what they did, they copied it from the Jews and from the Christians. This is how they, okay, he's a prophet sent from God. Now it's his prophet. Now we can do the same. So Muhammad is our demigod, sub god, and we're gonna do the same thing. He's gonna have, and everything is gonna go back according to Muhammad. Now the Quran is just gonna be a backdrop. It's just gonna be, just for reference, but everything is just a prophet. That's when they started inventing the Shafi'i. He invented this so-called Islam or traditional Islam, just like Paul the Apostle invented Christianity. We have a Shafi'i. He invented all this stuff, and then you had Peter, Paul, Mark, and Lucas, or whatever you have who written the Bibles. We have 9. The Christians have 4. I think 70, you settle down to four. We have nine. We have Bukhari, Muslim, um, Tirmidhi, Ibn Majah, Al Hakim, Al Darqutni, nine of them. Nine books, all containing hadiths, authentic hadith, and lies hadith, which is all lies. And then you have, just like Christianity has Protestant, Catholics, and all that, we have Sunnah, Shia, Sufi. They copied the same exact thing, and it's just as if the religion didn't do, they didn't, instead of the prophets or the message do good, it made it worse. It just, diluted it and made it more and more and more. So I'm just giving you little hints and drops. No one is special, especially if you're religious. You're not special. You're just doing more work because you need it, or because you need it to control other people. Now, this, what I'm telling you, what I'm saying is that believe in God, pray when you want to, when you need to. Don't pray as a hypocrite. Don't pray because you think it's mandatory. No, God gave you this because if you need Him, do it. It's quantity, it's quality over quantity. Quality of the prayer. Some people pray 5 times. That's why you hear a lot of religious people say, I don't feel like praying. I'm tired. I don't feel it. I'm praying, but I don't feel it because you're doing too much. It became automatic. Automated. You don't know what you're praying for. You have no goals. You just think, just like a bank account. You think you're getting more merits just because you're praying. No, it's not. Prayer is because you need it. You got to find out what you need in yourself first, and then you pray. You ask for it. He's not going to give it to you like physically, but He's going to show you the means that this is worth it. This is not worth it. This is the mental guide. This is the patience. This is the virtue. It shows you that it enlightens you in a different way. Who should you talk to? Who should you cut off, and who should you continue with and bring together? That's what it is. It just gives you enlightenment. But as far as like and it gives you miracles, no, it doesn't. That's all crap. So I don't know how. Well, anyway, as I say right here, this is I have this on my Facebook page, but I have to translate this thing into Arab, this part into English, but mostly is in English. But you get the message. It's nothing special, and I'm gonna go through details in the future about how to break down. I'm gonna break down all this stuff one subject at a time. How the religions changed over, how people, the scholars, how the this new job opening called scholarship or clergyman, how it opened up, and how they control the masses, and how religion was serviced into government, and how they control the masses. It's a lot. I'm gonna say it from the so-called Islamic perspective, and how I'm not gonna show you what they glorified. I'm gonna show you what really happened, and it's ugly, and how it affected people to this day. That's why you hear a lot of people's, even Christians, oh, it was written, or God wanted it that way, or inshallah, or mashallah. All these little terms that you hear has a deep background history, because behind it is a lot of programming. That little one word that you hear is a lot of programming behind it, and takes a lot of times, but with work and other duties, it's hard for me to do it constantly. So when I have time, I'm gonna start focusing on, and now I got this out of the way, I'm gonna start focusing on one subject at a time. Uh, and if you have any questions or ideas, or let me know. This is Quranomics, as you see, and this channel is going to be strictly in English for the English speaking people or world. Doesn't matter what your background, what your religious is. This will give you the tools to confront, talk, debate, debunk any so-called traditional Muslim or Jewish or Christian, whatever. You use the same basic rules. But I'm specifically talking about traditional Muslims that they think they have it, they think they're above the rest, they think they're special, just like other groups, they think they're special. But I'm talking about what I'm doing this for is just to make them better. It's a wake up call. I have another channel, I do it in Arabic, and they fight, they go crazy. But now I'm giving the tools over to the non Muslims. I'm going to show you how to talk to them, how to, from their book, how to debunk them, how to show them, how to show them the right way. You teach them about their religion. You will do that, and it's going to feel good because I do it, and even though I made a lot of enemies and people, but it's the truth because they cannot answer me. They get stuck. They get bummed. They can't answer. They can't talk back. So all they do is just walk away because they can't answer. But these this is the tools for the Western. So when you meet in the future any so-called, oh, I'm special, and he says this is the Quran, I'm gonna show you the right verse. If you have a question and it has to be serious and related to one of these subjects, I'm gonna make it a subject and we're gonna talk about it in detail. So this is what I have, and I hope I don't forget anything. If I do, mention it, and let me know. It might be a start of a good thing. Who knows? I'm doing my best to help them. Sometimes with to help people, sick people or people who needs help. Sometimes you have to knock them upside the head. You have to hit them. You have to like give them a smack or two. And this is exactly what I'm doing because you talk to them. Oh, you're an enemy. You're this. You're a hater. But that does not void the truth. The truth is that I have to teach them. But if one man can do it, we can multiply. We can show them you are wrong. And during this time, if same way you correct them, you have to correct yourself. So it's a double-edged sword. So Christians, or when they say you're trying to correct Muslims, at the same time you have to correct yourself. You can't just say one plus one plus one, equals one. You can't say, human being is a son of God or he is God. No, we're going to get into that. But I'm going to tell you all that from the Quranic view. The Quranic view. So that's why this channel is called Quranomics, because it's the Quranic law, the study of the thing, of the matter. And we're going to study this one subject at a time. I have to get my timing right. Got 43 minutes. I didn't know I could ramble on that long, but I do. So let me know. And this is going to be, I'm going to post this on Facebook and my YouTube channel. This is going to be I have Quranation, which is strictly in Arabic, and Quranomics is in English. I'm going to, sooner or later, I'm going to post it there these couple of days. And I have another one, Quranom, that's a whole separate channel. We can do something different. So I got to stop. So I'll see you and let me know.